This new year, it's time to do wellness on your terms. That's where Ollie comes in. Thanks to their delightful gummies, you can actually get a good night's sleep. And you might finally stand a chance of staying focused. Because this is the year of you. Discover Ollie vitamins and supplements. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, the reason why this episode is titled How to Have Fun, because there are people in this world that don't know how to have fun. They feel that they need to take something to alternate their ways of having fun. And I'm like, fam, you really don't even need to do that. You know, more so talking on drinking and doing drugs, you don't need to do that. So the motivation behind this episode, so I'm on Twitter and I seen this video of the rapper Nardo Wick. He was involved in one of those I don't know if it's I think it is like a YouTube channel. But so anyways, there's like this trend going on like the internet where it'll be like 50 women versus one guy or 50 guys versus one woman. And it's kind of like a speed dating like video show type thing. So anyways, the rapper Nardo Wick, good music by the way, go check him out. But he's on that show. And the girl walks up on him and was all like, do you drink? And he's all like, no, I don't really drink. You know, he pretty much was saying like, I only drink like with like special occasions or something, you know, like with his like mom, like for like a celebration type drinking things, right? That's normal. That's cool. That's me pretty much, because I'm like, yeah, that's usually the only times when I'll drink for special occasions. So anyways, then she goes on and asks him like, pretty much, do you do drugs? He said no. This woman looked this man in the face and called him boring because he doesn't drink every day and do drugs. That is crazy. Like, that is some wild stuff. And the thing is this, it's like you hear so many times like where people, they try to escape drinking and doing drugs because like, you know, it overall changes their life in a way. Meanwhile, you have a woman that wants you to drink and do drugs, and then if you don't, I think she ended up passing him anyways, like saying that she would go on a date with them or whatever the situation is, but because I really don't know how that show works, but that's just crazy. That is some insane stuff to call somebody boring because he doesn't want to ruin his body. I'm like, fam, I get that there's people out there that'll smoke weed. You know, weed, if that's your preferred choice of, drugs and all that, that's on you, okay? You ask me, you ain't gotta smoke weed. You ain't gotta do any form of drugs. You ain't gotta drink any form of alcohol, beer, hard liquor, whatever the situation is. You ain't got to do none of that stuff at all. My thing is this, if you can find the right person to hang out with, drugs, alcohol, any of that stuff, you don't need none of that. You guys can do some of the most random things. Enjoying another person's company, bro, that's more than enough. More than enough. I'm saying, because if that, I feel like stuff like that is taught to you when you're young. Like when you're hanging out with your family, you, as a kid, obviously, yeah, you ain't gonna be drinking and doing drugs as no kid. You don't even know about that type of stuff. But I feel that like that's your sign right there, where it's like, okay, I got through my whole life, not having to do drugs and drink. Like if you wanted to, because with me, I know I didn't start drinking until I was 21. I've never smoked, so I managed to have some of the most fun with my friends, with my family, with my coworkers at my old job. I'm saying, fam, I can have fun by myself and I will be calm, cool, collected about it. So it trips me out how like there's people in this world. Like I remember where it was actually the one girl that had rejected me because I'm black. I remember because sometime after that, I remember me and her, we did get in contact with one another. And she was telling me that, like, how she be going to these festivals and stuff. And that was something that, like, it worried me because I'm like, okay, if you going to these, I assume, I don't know if she'd be going to festivals on a regular basis, but I'm assuming that you're going to a festival on a regular basis. But I remember she told me that she took, I think, what was it, ecstasy? It was something. But she told me how, like, she would take that, before she goes out to one of these shows. And I'm like, fam, why you gotta take that stuff? You can't just enjoy the music and the show and things. I'm like, what kind of party scene is that? If I gotta take drugs to enjoy something, I'm like, nah, bro, cause I know I heard people where they all like, oh, if you smoke weed and listen to music, the music sounds different, or like, or for food, for an example, they're like, food might taste a little bit better or whatever, and I'm like, no, like that just means that if you're eating food that tastes bad and you're not under the influence, then that just means that that's bad food. You just gotta do something different to it in order to enjoy it. So you know how it should be enjoyed. Because my thing is this, yeah, if you go into some like 2-3 star restaurant expecting like a 5+ star meal, yeah, obviously you ain't gonna get that in no 2-3 star restaurant. You gotta go to a 5-star restaurant in order to get a good. And then it's like, the funny thing is, they're like, I'm not willing to spend that much on no food, but you're willing to spend all this money on drugs. And it's like, my thing is this, I'd rather spend my money, okay, on whatever food there or restaurant I gotta go to get me some good food. Because my thing is this, you go out and about, let's say you out driving somewhere, right? You're going out and about. You got this, drugs, alcohol, you got all these illegal substances in your car, right? More so, drugs, alcohol, and if it's an open container, then you could get in trouble for it and things. But so anyways, because I just saw a video where a guy, he, was recently, not recently, but he was arrested because he had all these drugs in his car. And it's like, I think he was more so trying to sell, but it's like, fam, that can very well be you. They slapped that charge on you that you carrying drugs with the intent to sell, and it's like, fam, that might give you some more time with whatever sentence they give you, whether it's probation, prison, jail, whatever. But it's like, fam, you do not need drugs. And I remember I tried telling the girl that, and it was just it was a pretty much like a case in the situation where it's like I couldn't get through to her and stuff, and I was like, dang, it's unfortunate because it's like, I want the best for people, but I'm like, fam, like, that's why that's something where I would like to go to one of those, like, festivals or raves or whatever and perform, like, do, like, a DJ, set. But at the same time, I'm like, fam, I'm gonna be that guy, that DJ where I'm like, no, I'm buying, like, 50 cases of water and I'm throwing bottles to everybody. And I'm like, no, you guys need to wash that stuff up out your system. I'm like, I want y'all to enjoy my music sober. If you gotta enjoy my music under the influence, then that means that I'm not gonna say that about all artists, but how I personally would feel is that I'm putting out bad music if you need drugs or alcohol to enjoy my music. So that's why I'm like, yeah, bro, you shouldn't have to, because you sit down and think about it. I'm like, yeah, there's probably people in the Michael Jackson crowds. I ain't gonna say everybody was probably sober. There might have been some people that was there under the influence and things, but I'm like, fam, you think like me? If Michael Jackson was still alive, I'm saying, like, I'm talking like Thriller, Bad. I'm talking like this Michael Jackson that was putting on 5-star shows. The Michael Jackson that was standing on stage for like 5 minutes just staring. This man, he knew how to get a crowd going. And that's something where I'm like, I wouldn't want to be under the influence and then miss that whole show. And then I'm like, oh, well, because I was drunk or I was high. And I'm like, therefore, I don't remember nothing. And I'm like, no, bruh. Hey, you should not have to do no stuff like that. When it comes to, like, raves and shows and all that stuff, like I said, if you gotta be under the influence to enjoy that stuff, then, maybe you shouldn't be there. I'm all like, maybe you shouldn't be there. You gotta learn how to appreciate things in life. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's insane how people, they be carrying on like that. And then it's like, you wonder, that's one of the main reasons why when they do so much excessive amounts of drinking and doing drugs, and it's like, they don't be remembering nothing. They be like, they'll look at you because they'll be like, I'm the sober friend. I'm the friend that don't, like, yeah, everybody around me drinking and smoking and stuff. There's been times where I've been hanging out with friends and they be sitting there passing a blunt back and forth, smoking left and right and things, and I'm like, and I just be sitting there just staring. I'm all like, no, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to smoke. I'm chilling. I'm like, I'm happy. I feel good. I ain't gotta do none of that stuff. But there's people that have to, and I'm all like, why? You know, that's something where I'm like, what are you going through? Because you said, I remember one of the earliest times I seen somebody doing drugs. And I mean, because I live out in Washington State, so you constantly would see people like high out they mind and stuff downtown Seattle or anywhere. You know, there's like all the way from when I was a kid all the way up until now. It's like I'm constantly seeing people high out they mind, standing on the sidewalks, just being crazy and stuff. So, but anyways, but no, I was in school. And this was like one of the one time I remember I seen a kid smoking, and I'm thinking to myself, you're in middle school. Okay, you're still learning. Like, fam, you was like, how is it that you? And I'm like, and you know, the thing is, like, I don't know what a person got going on at home, but I'm like, I feel like everybody comes from somewhere where we come from our own struggles, we come from our own issues and stuff. But I'm like, fam, I had to say that I've been through some stuff growing up as a kid, you know, and it was hard a lot of the times. Never once thought, oh, well, I should drink, or I should get into drinking. I should get into doing drugs. I remember I saw this kid, and him and another kid were smoking, and I'm like, fam, what could you possibly be going through as a kid, bro? What? I'm like, that's something where I'm like, I never understood that. It was something that was so confusing to me, because it was crazy to see. You know, you didn't think you see somebody in middle school smoking and stuff. And so every time when I seen that kid, that was like the one thing that I always would think of. I was like, no, I couldn't possibly think of anything else. Like, the only thing I could possibly think of was that kid was sitting there smoking. And I'm like, that's just some crazy stuff. Then in high school, I was like, bro, it was like a regular basis where you either hear about kids smoking or you seen kids smoking. There is literally an area where kids would go to smoke down the street from our school. So I'm like, you had that. Kids would show up to the school. I remember that there is kids showing up to school drunk. There was this one girl. I remember we were in this photography class. So anyways, I'm in the computer thing, just randomly doing stuff. I remember I never really did anything productive in that class. But anyways, I'm on the computer just doing random stuff, chilling with friends and things. Because that was like the one thing we always would do. We just go in there and we would just chill. Okay, the computer area was the chill area. So girl comes through. She's drunk out of her mind. I'm saying, like, this girl, she was out of it. Falling all over the place, crying, having breakdowns, and everybody's kind of just looking at her like, fam, what do you got going on? I'm like, why is you acting like this? Making people upset. I'm like, hey, look, don't come over here with that. I'm sitting in my own little area. I'm like, don't come over here with that. I'm like, that's just some crazy stuff, man. I'm like, it was just because it just didn't even make any sense to me. It's like, fam, what is you going through? I'm like, but yeah, that girl, she was out of it. She was just gone with hers. And then smoking. I remember freshman year of high school, kids, they took off 420. There were so many kids gone on that day. I was like, what's going on? And then that was freshman year, 14 years old. That was the first time I ever heard about that holiday 420 and stuff. And I'm like, that many kids done took, how is it that there's kids in all age groups? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you guys got that many issues? Because that's how I look at it. I look at it as that people be having issues. People don't know how to adapt. And because my thing is this, with me, and I know people probably ask me that question, how do I have fun? I pick and choose who I hang out with. Like, there's the one friend that I hang out with, and I'm all like, that's a friend I'm like, I've been hanging out with ever since I was a kid. And I'm all like, I have yet to be like, oh, I got to smoke or drink to hang out with him. No, I can be myself. We can crack jokes, talk about life, all that stuff. And it's going to probably be like that all the way up until when we old, or until one of us move or something. I don't know, until the day I guess we stop being friends. But I'm like, other than that, I'm like, fam, I'm chilling on not smoking and drinking when I'm around him. Same with my family. Even if I'm going out on a date or something, I'm like, bruh, I ain't gotta smoke or drink to be like, oh, I gotta calm my nerves. Nah, bro. I'm like, that's people that just don't know how to adapt to like just day-to-day life. And I'm like, fam, if you don't know how to adapt to day-to-day life, you gotta practice practice that stuff. Because no, I can say for myself, like, how I managed to adapt to my day-to-day life is that, no, I started going, like, just overall getting outside more. You know, when I was working in Seattle, it was like, fam, I started exploring more. I just started, you know, doing things differently. And I feel like when you do things differently, when you kind of take little adventures, and you ain't gotta take big old great giant adventures like, oh, let me go to Paris, let me go to the UK in order to, you know, adapt and things. No, fam, you can literally adapt from the comfort of your own home. You can practice that stuff. You can manage that stuff. And so, yeah, content creating, I have to say it did, you know, overall, like, build up, like, you know, just how could I carry on the conversation in case if I ever do come across a person where I need to carry on the conversation with them and stuff. Content creating, making videos. I was like having things to talk about. Okay, boom, I got material. Now I just got to find people. I started working in Seattle. Bruh, I'm sitting there. It was at one point where it was like customers at that job where I didn't even know them like that. Next thing you know, I got customers telling me about their family, and I'm like, oh, cool, all right. I can't relate, but I know how to carry on the conversation. I was like, there's the one lady, she always would come up to me and be telling me about her kids and stuff. And I was like, I can't even relate. I ain't even got no kids and things. But she would tell, I remember one time she was telling me how like her kid was having like, I think it was like nightmares or night terrors or something like that. Like the kid would, just wake up in the middle of the night just going through it and stuff. So I had passed down some advice. I think at the time I was just, saying like, I can't, honestly, I can't remember what I said. But I remember I gave out some advice, and she was just like, "Oh, I'll try that." Like, yeah, that's a good idea and things. Brought her family in. Like, I remember she brought in her husband for me to meet him. Brought in the kids, and I was like, "This all just me." I got to that point just by simply having a conversation with her. Of other customers where I'm like walking into work with them, like, on my lunch break with them and things. I'm saying just straight up chilling, talking about sneakers. I'm saying it's one of those things where I'm all like, that's something where I'm like, you can put me in any situation where it involves people. I'm never going to have an issue where I struggle. Yeah, I remember when I was younger and I would struggle with talking with girls. I would struggle just striking up a random conversation with people, and even like, I wouldn't say it's like that today. I'm like, I guess if I find myself leading into a conversation, then yeah, I could carry on a conversation, but I'm not that person where I'm like, if I'm out and about, I got to strike up a conversation or I got to, I'm chilling and stuff. So, but yeah, man, I'm like, it's somewhere I'm like, I don't have to drink or, do drugs in order to do that. So I'm like, people, wherever it is, like, just practice that this year. Just practice that. Like, you go hang out with people, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do none of that. Drink water and, freaking, what could I substitute for? Chew gum. All right, drink water and chew gum, okay? But what else? Yeah, but just like practice that stuff. You ain't gotta like drink and smoke every day and things. You can easily get through life without that stuff. And I guarantee that, because no, the funny thing is, I can say for myself, I know people, they'll be all like, oh, well, I got an addiction. Fam, I had the strongest Red Bull addiction of all time. I was drinking Red Bulls on a day-to-day basis, okay? 2 to 3 at some point in times. And I was all like, fam, I think I had thought that to myself. That I was like, I'm never going to stop. I'm probably going to be an old man drinking Red Bulls and things. One day I stopped. I just abruptly just stopped. And I was like, and I hadn't had a Red Bull since it was either late 2022 or in the beginning of 2023. So regardless, it's been well over a year. Cause I'm like, I can't even, bruh. I really can't tell you the last time I had a Red Bull. I think I might have posted on social media the last time I had it. Let me actually, you know what? No, because I think it was one of my friends where I had said like because they were tripping off of it, because they was like that was like one firm where me and them, we will be like sharing Red Bulls at a point in time and stuff. Hold on for a second, let me see if I can find our DM messages. Okay, it's for December. So no, yeah, it was in December 16th, 2022. That was like, cause no, the funny thing was, is that me and this friend, we hadn't talked since high school. All right, that was like the last time I think we had talked in high school. I think it might have been either my junior or senior year. I can't remember exactly when, but they were a year younger than me. So, but anyways, hadn't talked to them since, unless like maybe Facebook or something. I might message them on there, comment, liked each other's posts and all that stuff. But other than that, like I hadn't had a conversation with them in a long time. December 16th, 2022, I posted a picture saying, or no, I posted a story and I was like, I'm done, last Red Bull and stuff. And they just randomly had messaged me and was all like, we start talking about that? And I'm like, fam, I hadn't talked to them in years. That's how you know it was a serious thing, bro, when I just gave up that stuff out of nowhere. So, yeah, it's like, it's going to take some time, but trust me, you can do it, okay? So, anyways, but yeah. With that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe if you're viewing this on podcast streaming service. Thank you guys and peace.